So since it's time for us homeschoolers to start researching curriculum and looking into what we're going to use for our students for next year, I'm bringing you a curriculum review. So if you have preschoolers and a kindergartner, stick around. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the farm. If you're new here, my name is Nina. I am a homeschooling, homesteading mom of 4, ages 9 down to 4, and here on my channel we talk all about homeschooling, homesteading, and homemaking. Today I am going to bring you a curriculum review video from Masterbooks, and it is their Stepping Stones, which is their preschool program, as well as Simply K, which is their kindergarten program. So I'm going to kind of flip through this curriculum a little bit with you just to kind of give you a feel for what it looks like on the inside, and then to kind of give you my thoughts about it and what I thought my pros and cons were. So if this is something that you're looking into, that you will have a little more information about it from somebody who has used it, as well as their Simply K program too. All right, let's start off with Stepping Stones. This is their preschool program, and it's a developmental approach to preschool. So it has different milestones that you're going to work through in this book. But first, I just want to kind of show you the inside of it before I kind of give you my thoughts about it. So it has a dear educator, which would be you as the parent, kind of walking you through, telling you about how this program is set up, different things that you're going to see in it. It gives you some tips for organization. It starts talking about the 6 milestones that you're going to work through in this program. Talks about some basic play learning. First, the supplements that you can do. And then here is kind of the checkoff list for this curriculum. So you have milestones 1 through 6 here. And then milestone 1 is I know my colors and recognize animals. Milestone 2 is I can cut and make healthy food choices. 3 is I know my shapes, my first letter of my name. I can follow directions and hop on 1 foot. I know opposites and emotions. I did it. I am ready for kindergarten. So that's kind of what this goes over. It goes over all things from making observations, shadow play, learning your colors, nutrition, learning all about yourself. It talks about food, as I said, basic shapes, observing, following directions, story comprehension, learning opposites, going over emotions, doing a little bit of pre-writing, recognizing animals, weather, and it goes through review in the back. It does give you a list of memory verses here, and then it goes into your first stone. Or for each milestone, there's 6 stones. So you have 36 stones that you're going to basically go over. So that would be 36 weeks. This is set up as a 3-day course. However, we just did it one every day because my 4th child that I did this with was seeing all of his brothers and sisters do school, and so he wanted to get in and do something, which is why I got him this to go through. So the first part of the lesson is making connections. So this is going to help you connect whatever you're learning to real life and or something in the Bible, and just so that it helps them connect in their brain what they're learning with what's going on around them. And then you have heroes of the Bible. So with each stone you go over a hero of the Bible, and then you have your memory verse down here. And then for the first section, for the good portion of it, you have a match. Well, you have a match it up always. So where you're matching, like here you make a match. So you can see where he drew a line to match. And then that's all you do for day 1. Then you go to day 2 and kind of the same thing, laid out a different thing, and then you match it up. And then day 3, and then you have your hero, and then you match it up. That's the first one. So then let me flip back here to the back to one that is back in the back so you can just see kind of what it is about. So let's go over stone 19. So you have your hero of the Bible for stone 19. And then here in blue, it tells you some things that you can do like outside the book, like an activity. And then you have your match it up. So here we're looking for what is different. and then making connections. So that would be day 1. Day 2 is making connections. You are talking about shadows. You have your Bible, and that is all for that day. And then stone 3, you are making connections. You're reviewing shadows. You have your match it up, and then you have your Bible lesson. So that is just kind of a look. And then as you get towards the back of the book, you start, where's the letters? So here you start working on letters, but that is in lesson 32, where you start talking about letters, reviewing animals, and where this animal would live, and then the Bible story that goes along with that. So this is marketed for, I would say pre-K is where they market it to. I would say for this one, it is geared more towards, for my kid level, it is geared more towards a 3-year-old. Because he was the baby of 4, he has sat in with homeschool since he was in, I would carry him around in my baby ergo, and so he has heard everything, and so he's very sharp on knowing a lot of things. And I picked this because I had a kid going through Simply K, and I just wanted something that was open to go, that I didn't have to prep a lot. But I felt like this was a little too light for a pre-K-er. I liked how it brought in Bible concepts, but also we do Bible as a family, so we didn't necessarily need that. But I do like how it kind of went over one each week, and we talked about it. We read over it. He knew a lot of the answers to the questions I would ask him. We had got to do a couple of little activities, and then I liked how it did have them working on different developmental concepts. As far as like what his attention span was, I feel like it was fairly good for his attention span, but I feel like he could have done a little bit more to kind of push it. But he was excited to do this because he thought he was doing school like his older siblings. The one thing I liked about this very well is it's very affordable. It is under $30 for this book, and everything that you need for the course, aside from a few supplies that you might need for some activities, is in this book. So in the back, it does have an appendix where you have, it tells you all your supplies that you will need, so you can gather those before you get started. And then also, you have alphabet cards, flashcards here, so you didn't have to make your own or plant those out. It gave you some scissor work that you could copy back here in the back if you needed to for extra practice. And then, in case you couldn't figure it out, there is an answer key in the back of the book. But I like that this gave us just some time with me and him to sit down, because as being the baby of 4, he does get kind of lost in the mix a little bit. I'm spending time with his older siblings doing their schoolwork, and he wanted something that me and him could sit down together and do. Did he always pay attention to everything? No. Could he have done more than what was in here? Yes. So I think as an overall, as a curriculum, it is good. I just think that it probably, had we done this when he was 3, I think it would have been a little more fitting for his age and his development, as being 4, getting ready to go into kindergarten. I don't think this would prep them. If you're planning on using Masterbooks kindergarten, which I'm fixing to go through, it probably would be a good prep. But if you're going to switch from this to something else, then there needs to be a little more substance than this. So overall, I think it's pretty good, but I did not care for it as much as other curriculum that we have used. So that is that. Now, moving on to Simply K, and as you will see, I've taken it apart. I put it in a notebook just so it's easier to use, easier to keep up with everything. And then I had the teacher supplement stuff I pulled out of the book and put in this, and had it spiral bound with my PreK binder system. So let's walk through this really quickly. So you had your little booklets that you make. This is all in the back. So we left this in here so that it would all stay together. They give you in the back of the book. It's going to be a little hard to explain this because it's all torn apart. But you have these different manipulative sheets. You have your ABCs. You have, here, I'll just pull them out. So you have your ABC chart, and on the back you had where you can write on it with a a dry erase marker. I laminated these so that we could use them over and over again. Then you have your emotions chart because we talk about emotions. And then you have your lowercase and then uppercase letters to trace. And then you have your weather chart. This is all in the back that could be torn out and laminated. I used this with my kindergarten last year. She was having a hard time we were using My Father's World Kindergarten, and I switched to this because she was having a hard time making the connections between the letter and the letter sound. And when we got ready to start kind of blending letters together to make words, she was not quite ready to go into that. So that's a little background on this. And I had heard a lot of stuff about Masterbooks, so I wanted to give this a try. I feel like it would have been extra practice for her. So to walk you through a lesson on, you have your lesson prep page, which tells you your supplies, look ahead, your memory verse, your objectives. And then it's broken up into, sorry, I'm trying my best not to throw this all over the place. You have a life skill that you work on, a Bible concept, your memory verse is here. You have rhyme time, and then ABC and more, and then you will read your mini book. So that is all one lesson. And so everything that you need as far as like the teacher's manual and teaching instruction is all in these orange boxes. So this is kind of like what you read to your student or say. And then it'll show you like what you need or motions that you need to use. Here's the poem that they were going over that day. And then it shows you a picture of the chart that you need. And then what you are to say. It tells you how to teach them to form the letters. Here is their letter practice right here. I felt like there could have been more of this. But again, you have those sheets that I just showed you where you could have them practice it. Or you could get out a piece of paper and have them practice it a lot more. We needed a little more practice when it came to letter practice and recognition. And then the mini book are these books right here. I'll just pull one out real quick and show you what they were since I don't have it in the back. So here, for simplicity, we'll pull out D. So this is all in the back of the book, and you have to cut it out. There was like 2 per page. So you have D, and then you would read D is for donut, D is for doll, D is for duck, D is for dinosaur, D is for donkey, D is for dog. And then it shows you how to write. So when I would hand this to Amelia, she would get it, she would look at the pictures, and then she would go, D is for, and then she would say donut. And I would make her like, all right, don't look at the word. And we would flip through it. And then when she got to the back, I had her put this down on the table, and I had her trace with her finger the D. So that's how we did those. She was very excited about reading the mini book. She was very excited about doing that. I think it was one of her favorite parts. We did the book verbatim for probably the first 2 weeks the way it's laid out. It is a 3-day-a-week program. We did it every day. And what I mean by we did it verbatim, we did everything that was in here. Again, we do Bible as a family. So I ended up having just a lot of times skipping the Bible parts. We do memory work as a family. So I would end up having her just basically skip the memory stuff because we were already doing that with our older kids. But if you're going through this with your oldest child, then you would obviously use that. And then here's your worksheet to go with it. Day 2, somewhat the same thing. So you work on letter recognition. As a fun thing, I would let her write it with a highlighter. And then you talk about a couple of like A words. And then we talked about Joseph's mini coat of colors. So she got to color that. And then on to day 3 of lesson 1, you talk about another A word. You write A, capital A and lowercase a again. You read your mini book again. And then you're on to lesson 2. So the one I did not particularly, I like the fact that this is again, it is very affordable. This is around $30, less than $35. I can't remember the exact price, but I know it was not more than $35. And it was one book. You purchased one book for kindergarten, and that was it. You did not have to purchase a whole bunch of other things. You didn't have to purchase like flashcards and CDs and all the things to go with it. You didn't have to purchase a teacher's manual because everything that you need to teach the lesson is in here. A Con for Me was also everything that you needed to teach the lesson was in one book. So it was kind of hard passing the book back and forth so that she could write and I could read from it. But that's not too technical. So like I said, this was the worksheet. So it wasn't like I could just hand her a worksheet and say, here, do this while I read you this, or do this while we go over whatever. So it's all in one, but that's also what makes it simple as well. So just kind of showing you a little bit. So let's flip through towards the back. Here's your prep page for lesson 24. You have your life skill that you're going over. You have your Bible that you're going over. Here's your memory verse. Talk about your letter, your rhyme time. Then you're writing your letter and you're reading your book. It has you do different things with flashcards and the chart, whether it's sing a song, chant, which is saying the letter sounds, or doing like a memory challenge, different things there. They gave you suggestions there. And then we have the same thing for day 2 and day 3. We actually I ended up not completely finishing this course with her because when we got through with all the letters, I did not like how they were having them start blending letters. I did not particularly care for that, having already taught kindergarten with my previous 3 kids. So, or 2 kids, previous 2 kids. I didn't particularly care for that, but it didn't do it very much. It was just a little bit at the end of the book. So you went through the first 36 lessons, or first 26 lessons were letter sounds, and then you started talking about words, simple words like hat, bat, cat, rat. It just was kind of getting a small introduction to it. So I don't think it was bad. It was not what I was used to when it was coming to talking about that. And then I also forgot to tell you exactly what all this covered. So let me see. It's in here. I took this out. So you go over each letter of the alphabet. So here it tells you, here's your layout of your scope and sequence of the course. You go from letter A to Z, of course. You also talk about things like health, hygiene, safety, how to fold clothes. I mean, just developmental things like that. And we went over a little bit of that, but she knew a lot of that already. Tying your shoes, sewing on a button, cleaning the table, setting the table, making your bed. And then once you get, like I said, like when you get right here past lesson 26, then you start reviewing the ABCs. You start doing beginning sounds and ending sounds. And that's pretty much where you leave it off in kindergarten. So they don't actually read much of anything. There's no reader where they start learning words really on. So this is a very gentle, relaxed approach to kindergarten. I Again, as I said with the preschool one, I feel like this could be PreK. This is a level behind, and that's kind of how I have felt with all of Masterbook stuff. Is they're about a grade level behind of what I guess a public school would be. That's not a problem, but if you're looking for something to keep your kids on track with where they need to be in school, in case you want to put them back in the public school system, Masterbooks is probably not the best option for that. They are a more gentle approach. So if you have a student that is struggling, if you have a special needs student, or you just need an open go one book, you need homeschool on a budget, they're great for that. Your kids will still get a good, rich education. It's just, it may not be as deep. You may have to supplement some things. So those are just some things to consider when you're considering Masterbooks. We've used Masterbooks several times throughout the course of our homeschool over the last 5 years. We have loved things that we have used with them. Not that there's anything bad with them, but we have also found fallen into a little bit of a different way that we want to do our teaching. So anyway, that's just a little bit of a look into preschool and kindergarten with Masterbooks. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you have not done so already. I would love for you guys to stick around to get to know us, and we would love to get to know you down in the comments as well. Let me know, as well as other viewers know, some things that you have used for kindergarten and preschool that have been very helpful, that your family has used if you are using those. I'll be happy to answer any questions down in the comments as well. So I hope you guys are doing well, and we will see you in another video very soon. Bye guys.